I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, May the 20th, brought to you in part by Noromycin by Norbrook. Noromycin 300 LA is your proven go-to antibiotic for pink eye and foot rot this summer. It's a must-have near your doctor and shoot, in your pickup, or in your saddlebag. For more information, go to norbrook.com. The House Ag Committee approves the Meat and Poultry Special Investigator Act. That's the one that I told you on our last visit that the National Corporate Beef Association was blasting, saying that it was overreaching and didn't need it. Of course, they were working for their packer members there, and I'm not sure when they know when to work for their packer members or their cattlemen members, because they're not one and the same, unless you're some of the leaders of that group that have a drawer full of U.S. premium beef shares, and then you're both, I guess. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but they did get that. It was marked up, so it went to the House Ag Committee, and now they've approved it, and now it'll go to a vote then for the members. And so we'll see then how it does. But it was kind of interesting that NCBA was fighting against this so hard, and they just blew right by them. And that is then the House of Representatives, where we're worried that we don't have enough stroke to get this Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act approved. Now in the Senate, they don't even pay any attention to NCBA. But in the House, we thought it was going to be hard to get our U.S. or our Cattle Price Discovery and Transparency Act bill approved. This may give us some hint that maybe we can go ahead and get that deal done, but I guess we'll have to see. But U.S. Cattlemen's Association President Brooke Miller, he put a statement out about the approval of this bill by the House Ag Committee. He said, while Packer allied groups blast this bill for its overreaching authority, this is precisely why the U.S. Cattlemen's Association supports the bill. It seeks to provide resources to enforce the rule of law. And that's absolutely true. What it does is it gives USDA subpoena power to try to oversee some of these antitrust and packers and stockyards laws that are being broken by your big packers. So this is a great deal getting this pushed through, and I'm happy that we were able to get that done, and hopefully it goes on and gets approved for vote in the House there, and then moves on to the Senate. But talk to you about what else I saw on Thursday at the Superior Video Auction that they had there at Hudson Oaks at the home base. On Thursday, they had an interesting consignment of cow-calf pairs off the Wells Ranch north of Greeley, Colorado. This is an old-time ranch, one of the oldest ranches in Colorado, 134 years of breeding stock there, and they're 100% Angus herd there. They use Seitz bulls up out of Montana there, and just a unique opportunity to buy this type of a breeding stock there. But the 2 to 4 year old pairs, and a lot of these cows were coming with the first and second calf there, but 2 to 4 year old pairs, and the cows weighing around 1,400 pounds there, and some nice calves on them, bring from $1,985 to $2,085 per pair. Those middle-aged 5 to 6 year old cows with the nice calves on them bring from $1,800 to $1,875. But I thought that was interesting there. Like to give you guys some stories when I have an opportunity, but I like to give you guys some stories about ranching to help you guys, whenever you're trying to figure out what to do, and maybe save you a little bit of heartache from time to time. But my good friend Jack Payne out in Nevada, Fallon, Nevada, and I auctioneer for him in season for his monthly and bi-monthly feeder cattle specials there at Fallon for the Nevada Livestock Marketing. But he was sharing a story with me earlier this week, and he's got some more free time now as the cattle aren't moving as much, and he's been going out to his ranch. He's got a huge ranch out there. Of course, they don't stock it very densely. of course, in that part of the country in Nevada. But he had went out there and he said he was a little bit frustrated because he was feeding about 50 head of horses out there, and his cowboys were only riding about 10 of them. The 10 of them that they liked the best, that were the most broke and a little bit easier to ride. So he thought he'd show them how, you know, you'd get one of those horses that they didn't like to ride, and you need to ride all of them. That's one way to gain some money in your ranch Remuda there, is to try to keep those horses broke and keep them working good and train them and teach them a few things there. But here's a picture that he shared with me of him putting the train on one of these Greenbroke horses that the cowboys didn't like to get on very often, and I thought that might be a good lesson for a lot of you guys if you run into a similar situation. Let's talk about the board on Thursday. June live cattle futures were unchanged at 131.50. August up 32 cents at 132.02. They're majorly oversold, but just nothing to spark them to go back up, guys. Your back months on your live cattle were down 57 cents to up just 7 cents. May feeder cattle contracts were down $1.72 at 154.12. August down 60 at 165.20, and we just keep bleeding right there on that all-important August, which prices so many of those green grass yearlings there mid to late summer, and we're not seeing any of them come up for sale yet, because most everybody that owns them feels like this thing's going to bounce back at some point. Your back months on your feeder cattle down 52 cents to down 80. Talk about your grains. Your corn didn't do much, up 1 3/4 cents. Ending regular trading at 7.83 1/4. Beans up 27 3/4, ending at 16.90 1/2, guys. Kansas City hard red winter wheat were down 29 1/4 cents. I guess scared that some of that Ukrainian wheat's gonna go out for export there, and it would take the edge off that. But man, down hard with end of the day regular day trading on Kansas City hard red winter wheat at $12.95 1/4 a bushel. Talk about your fat cattle trading. Just a little bit of cleanup trade on Thursday. Not a whole lot reported there. We didn't see that big of a trading this week, maybe 60,000 so far in your 5-area feeding region, because they don't need to buy very many cattle, because the last several weeks they've been buying them for the 2 to 4 week delivery. Well, here they are, so they're set up, and that's why we've got a down market, and that's the way they do every time. I've been telling you guys about it for the last several weeks here, and of course you guys know too. But talk about some sales that were confirmed on Thursday. About 1,100 head in Iowa. They've sold just over 27,000 for the week. 142 to 144 live price, dressed from 225 to 228. Nebraska only 300 head confirmed on Thursday, but 22,800 for the week so far. 142 was the only price paid, and that was live in Nebraska on Thursday. Kansas about 300 head, just over 14,000 for them this week so far. Live price in Kansas 137 1/4 to 138. So that 138, where a lot of them traded, that'd be sure $2 cheaper than last week. Texas didn't have any confirmed sales on Thursday. 7,400 head for the week there. But I did hear some guys in my conversation saying that there were more cattle being traded around in the Midwest and the Northern Plains, maybe late in the afternoon, and they may not be reported because the delivery on them is far enough out that it wouldn't make the spot trade there. But hearing late that there were a lot of cattle being sold for 141 and 225 for a month out. So they're going to continue to do that. Guys cannot resist the basis. You know, so let's say you sold them at 141. That's a nearly $10 basis, guys, to June live cattle. You get to put that in your pocket. You know you're hurting trade, but you know you can't resist it, so you're just taking it. How about box beef cutout values? They were a little bit higher on Thursday afternoon. Choice cuts 261.70. That's up $1.23. Selects up 4 cents at 246.06. Your slaughter 499,000 up through Thursday, and that's a good harvest there. 4,000 more than last week, 25,000 more than the same week a year ago. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DV Auction late in the day on Thursday based on an 800-pound steer selling up through your sales in the middle part of the country there. Setting at 150-101, down another 61 cents. It just keeps moving back and has done that all week. And finally, your late week auctions were just a lot lower. We clung to steady on your feeder steers earlier in the week, but finally they tipped over and we're down pretty hard later in the week. Don't forget, if you guys are near or planning to go to the 4-State Farm Show in Pittsburg, Kansas, I'm going to be there with the Joplin Regional Stockyards guys and some guys from Specialty Risk to talk about the LRP program. So it's going to be at the Bicknell Center there on the campus of Pitt State University there, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it runs from 3 to 5, something like that. But I hope to see many of you guys there for that. Talk about your sales on Thursday. Winter livestock, Pratt, Kansas, 4,000 head there. Market was just lower. I've given up trying to follow these market reporters in the state of Kansas. They have no clue. You know, I saw, you know, in another sale in Kansas, they were calling the yearling steers sharply higher. Well, they're lower everywhere in the world. You know, open your eyes and look around, people. But anyway, I just give up on them. But it was lower in Pratt on 4,000 head, but they did have a stick out deal. I noticed 58 head. 818-pound steers bring $155. Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas had 2,000 on Thursday. The steers actually sold kind of steady to firm on your 8 and 9 weights. Then that's where it was best tested. But the balance of the run was all lower. But I'll give you some quotes on the 8 and 9 weight cattle in Salina. There was 313 head of 8-weight steers in Salina, Kansas. They averaged 848 with a weighted average price of $151.92. 299 head of 9-weight steers in Salina averaged 942 at $144.80. Stick out deal in Salina was 64 head, a load of 830-pound steers at $159. That's nothing to sneeze at there at all, guys. How about a quote from way out west? Orland Livestock Commission Yard there in California, and that's way out west there, guys. 58 head, 745-pound steers bring $145.75, and that'd be a ways to get those fed. How about Columbus Sales Pavilion in Columbus, Nebraska? 50 head of fancy steer calves there weighed 504 at $211.25. Bet the best quote that I saw anywhere to talk about on Thursday, and your Ralgro top quote for the day come out of Bluegrass Stockyard South in Stanford, Kentucky. 63 head, 837-pound steers standing in the ring in Stanford, Kentucky bring $154.95. That's your feeder flash for Friday.